rotation, there's two different ways that we can go about this. First, I'm going to show you the series where we go through active spine rotation, and specifically for this sequence, it's going to be against gravity. And then we're going to look at rotation from a different perspective where we're trying to create stability. So we're doing movements where we have to try not to rotate into the pose when stability is taken away. So we call those the anti-rotation exercises. And it's interesting to see the two compared next to each other. First, let's look at the rotation exercises. I'm going to start out with my heels against the wall. All right, so first we're going to do the rotation movement. One of my favorite ones is just opening up to the side, pushing the opposite hand into the floor, and then going the other way. Okay, so table position, you can do that in a balancing table with the knees up, or we can walk forward and take this into a plank. Pretty challenging in the plank. Okay, now I'm going to drop my knees down into a half plank, and this is probably a good spot for a lot of students to work. Halfway in between the challenge of being in a table and being in a full plank. Good effort, but you can still keep control. Okay. So now I'm going to take the hand to the back of the head to open, and then here's a little added bonus, I can rotate the opposite way. So then let's try some variations from a side plank. Okay, so here's my side plank. I'm up. I'm going to scoop my fingers, roll the shoulder under, look back, and then open it up. And I can do the same thing with my elbow. Hand on the back of the head, lead with the elbow, scoop down, and open up. When we look at the anti-rotation movements, this is really about taking away stability and being able to keep our shape. So even just taking my hand away, I want to make sure that I'm not slumping down. I can keep my back really straight. Not too bad doing that when you're in a table, but then when you come up to a balancing table or a floating table, much more challenging. In a floating table with my knees up. Okay, right about there. And then I'm going to take my left hand and tap my right shoulder without letting my shoulder drop, hopefully. And then shift the other way. Tap, and come back. Pretty challenging with the knees up. I can also try this with the knees down, much easier, thinking flat line across the upper back. Sometimes I'll put a block or a tennis ball right on somebody's back to make sure that they're not sloping down to the side. The same thing happens with the lower body. So if I'm going to take the leg up, when I take the leg up, I'm watching to make sure that I don't open up the hip too far or sag the hip down, nice and level, so I'm limiting the rotation. That's where it becomes the anti-rotation category of movements. I have to hold up the weight of the leg and the pelvis against gravity without having that direct support on my knee.